What are some fictional character fights you would love to see happen? Toy Story's toys invading Home Alone Kevin's house. Those toys don't stand a chance. That kid, Kevin, is a monster. 47. Your next target is extremely dangerous. The agency has thus far hesitated to take this assignment, but recent developments have given us no choice but to take out this former Mi-6 spy, codename 007. Good luck 47. Depends on the Bond in the film. Roger Moore in A View to a Kill doesn't pose nearly the same threat as Sean Connery in Goldfinger or Daniel Craig in Casino Royale. Voldemort vs someone with some intense military firepower, let's say the Terminator, then we can settle the eternal debate of whether magic is better than having an assault rifle. Moldyvold would get 3 words into his inevitable villain monologue and the Terminator would eliminate him with a simple headshot. Stuart Little and Remy from Ratatouille. There can only be one. Animated mouse. Toby vs Michael Scott. Who I love it. Toby's tactic would just be being himself and letting Michael implode over it. I also would weirdly love to see Creed vs anyone else. Deleted. This is a good one. I'm going to go with Wick though, because he is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will. It might never happen though, because Byrne is so elusive. Batman vs Iron Man. Both have the same amount of prep time. Edit. I never thought I would get so many responses and there are mixed opinions in their depictions between the comic version and the movie version. I'm not a comic reader, I just watched some of their movies. So I just thought if Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Tony Stark, Iron Man, were given enough preparation time to study each other's weaknesses and with their resources to build their gadgets to fight each other, who would win? Maybe it is more like in a general view. I mean, in Infinity War, Iron Man went toe to toe with Thanos, and for a good while Thanos had most of the Infinity Stones, Thanos would have wiped the floor with Batman in about 10 seconds. Lois from Malcolm in the Middle vs Skylar from Breaking Bad. Lois would destroy Skylar and it wouldn't even be close. But I would love to see Walter and Hal fight. Mr. Magoo vs Death from the Final Destination films. This might just be the best one so far. Bill and Ted vs the 2 guys from Dude Where's My Car. This battle will be excellent. Han Solo vs Indiana Jones. My money is on Harrison Ford. Master Chief vs Doom Guy. Death Battle did that early on, like mid-season 1, though the episode's outdated by today's standards, both in terms of research and animation. You'd probably like r/Haroldwin. Count Dooku with no arms vs the Younglings. A graphically violent fight between Katara and Elsa in the middle of a crowded city. Directed by Quentin Tarantino and J.J. Abrams. Katara blood bends Elsa's blood to a halt. Battle over. Though Elsa could probably freeze a human solid with a thought too. Really, it would be whichever acted fastest and Katara's the real warrior. The Quaker Oats guy vs Captain Crunch. My money's on Captain Crunch. The Quaker Oats guy has the edge in experience, but Captain has more energy, and I'm almost certain he's on some kind of amphetamines. Plus he seems more likely to fight dirty than the more straight-laced Quaker guy. John Wick vs Kal-El. I'd love to see that little ducker die. Kal-El is proof that even cancer isn't all bad. Captain America vs the Penguins from Madagascar. Penguins for sure. I want Mortal Kombat 11 to include Rambo so that we can see Terminator vs Rambo. That was one of the hottest debates when I was in the middle school. If they're in the woods then Rambo wins lol. Gandalf vs Dumbledore. Or Gandalf and Snape both yelling you shall not pass at Harry Potter, just for different reasons. Shrek vs Thanos. That battle would be over before it began. Obviously Superman vs Goku. This is only the most reposted fight ever on /r/Haroldwin, a subreddit full of nothing but the most tread fans of all of these franchises. By feats, Goku usually is agreed to edge Superman out, except for very specific versions of Superman, that are usually Superman being extremely empowered, or working together with other characters. Wolverine vs Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger attacks in dreams, where he can control things giving him the advantage. However, I doubt Wolverine would be afraid of him, making him powerless. I'm going with Wolverine, based on lack of fear. It should start with Godzilla vs Batman, then Godzilla vs Shaq. Shaq vs Aaron Carter vs Batman vs Abraham Lincoln vs Optimus Prime vs Godzilla. Maybe bring in Jackie Chan at this point. A Care Bear, Chuck Norris, Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, Monty Python and the Holy Grail's Black Knight, and Benito Mussolini, and the Blue Meanie and Cowboy Curtis and Jambi the Genie, Robocop, the Terminator, Captain Kirk, Darth Vader, Lopan, Superman, every single Power Ranger, Bill S. Preston and Theodore Logan, Spock, The Rock, Doc Ock, and Hulk Hogan, and Mr. Rogers. YouTube for anyone else who needs to watch this now. Shaggy and Saitama. They would chill and eat Scooby snacks. Superman vs. Jackie Chan, but he's carrying a vase and he doesn't want any trouble. On another thread someone pointed out this is the ultimate fight and it still cracks me up. Jackie Chan in a ladder factory and he doesn't want trouble. For me personally, I would love to see Alien X from Ben 10 fight Q from Star Trek. Both characters are known to warp reality and are omnipotent beings. Q would try to use his illusions to trick Alien X, but Alien X makes things happen by using his thoughts. We can exclude the debating floating magic mirror just for this occasion. Without those faces, Alien X would be just as powerful and be busy kicking a. Reminder, Alien X was responsible for creating the whole universe. I would like to see him battle the Celestials from Marvel and Dr. Manhattan, but I prefer him battling Q, because both characters stand out from their own omnipotent species. Since I ended up bringing Ben 10, I would like to see his aliens battle other characters. For example, this is a long list. Gwen vs. Scarlet Witch, Heat Blast vs. Human Torch XLR8 vs. Quicksilver Diamond Head vs Captain America 4 Arms vs. Red Hulk Wildmat vs. Sabretooth Upgrade vs. T-1000 Ghost Freak vs Ryuk Cannonbolt vs. Sonic Upchuck vs. Kirby Waybig vs. Ultraman Arctiguana vs. Sub-Zero Swamp 5 vs. Groot Alt. Swamp 5 vs. Azla Humongosaur vs. Lizard Alt. Humongosaur vs. Hulk Jetray vs. The Flash Spider-Monkey vs. Spider-Man Alt. Spider-Monkey vs. Drive. Octopus Big Chill vs Elsa Alt. Big Chill vs Ice King Echo vs Naruto Alt. Echo vs. Soundwave Chromastone vs. Carol Danvers Brainstorm vs. Professor X Lodester vs. Magneto Wrath vs. Wolverine Nanomech vs. Wasp Amphibian vs Electro Clockwork vs. The Presence Feedback vs. Thor Shock Squatch vs. Storm Kickin' Hawk vs. Liu Kang Astrodactyl vs. Falcon Bullfrag vs T800 Atomix vs. Goku. I see you've given this some thought. The Lich King vs the Witch King of Angmar. I really like the Witch King, but I would bet Arthas would have the upper hand here. But I think it would depend if they fight on Azeroth or Middle-earth. Magic in Azeroth is quite literal, like shooting a giant fireball, summoning undead servants out of thin air, teleporting or freezing someone. Most magic in Middle-earth is more or less subtle, like blinding the evil creatures with holy light or something. Darth Vader vs Batman. That would be the shortest fight ever. I actually think canon Anakin/Vader beats Superman 2 with his ability to see into the near future. That and he's already defeated godlike entities. People watch the films, and it doesn't even show you 1% of his power. OLMAO, what about this? Cyril Figgis vs Jerry Smith. Gene Belcher vs Cecil Tunt. Or Louise Belcher vs Cecil's girlfriend. My dad v your dad. Because obviously my dad would win. Joke's on you, both of my dads are Navy SEALs. Venom 2018 vs Tom Holland's Spider-Man. One of them would drop a wisecrack while dodging some attack, then the other would retort, and then they'd just continue talking cheese to each other until they were both cracking up from the jokes. Geralt of Rivia vs Brienne of Tarth. While Jaskier and Podrick are commenting, Geralt has magic and regularly fights monsters. I think it'd be a short battle. I doubt many/anyone from Goatee would be a match for Geralt. Toph vs Bumi. Let's settle once and for all that Toph is the greatest earthbender of all time. I'm pretty sure that they had a spar in one of the comics and that it ended in a tie, but Toph is the better bender. Chewbacca and Groot. Groot would just impale Chewbacca with his vines. I think he could tank a hit from that crossbow if he had to. Khabib vs Ferguson, since this just seems like it's never gonna happen. Ronald McDonald vs Burger King. Throw in Colonel Sanders for a triple threat. I'd want to see two obnoxious anime protagonists fight. You know, like the kind of kids who win the argument against the antagonists by just being incredibly stubborn and insisting that the other person submit to their personal philosophy, like Naruto against Nagato, or Gon against anybody, and then just have them stuck in a standoff of trying to force the other person to give up without having to actually kill them, except neither one will ever give up, so they are stuck like that forever. With the flashbacks and replayed memories, those fights would last another 25 seasons. The Juggernaut, Captain America, and Walker, Texas Ranger vs. Grandpa Joe /r/Grandpa Joe had duck that worthless asshole. The Nun vs Annabelle. I believe the Nun is the stronger demon. I did some bored Wikipedia reading. Valak or whatever that demon's name is equivalent to a Master General or Greater Demon of Hell, whereas the Goat Demon from Annabelle is a lesser demon. Edit. Link Wikipedia. The Joker vs Pennywise. Pennywise has no chance. The Joker doesn't fear anything. Superman vs. Superman with a mustache. Not really a fight but a debate. Punisher vs Batman on killing criminals. Would go similar to Daredevil v Punisher, I'd say. John Wick vs. Jackie Chan. First they fight then they team up. Please, I don't want any trouble. My Dad vs. Your GF. The Count of Monte Cristo vs Gene Arid is on. Have you read the books? Monte Cristo destroys his enemies. Frank Drebin from Naked Gun vs Ron Burgundy from Anchorman. Frank Drebin all the way. Yujiro Hanma vs Akuma Zahir vs. The Fire Lord TMNT vs Battletoads Baki Hanma vs. Tokitaroma Hollow Knight vs. Rocket Knight Zangetsu, Bloodstained vs. Richter Belmont Black Adam vs. Homelander Little Mac vs. Boxing Joe just to start. Regular Rose or Comet Ray Jose. Phineas and Ferb vs Jimmy Neutron. That would actually be fun as hell to watch. Sauron vs. Voldemort. If we are talking about Sauron with the ring, then I think that Sauron would probably win. Voldemort couldn't even take over a high school, and Sauron is a mayor. The Rock vs Dwayne Johnson. Betting $20 on Rock. Dragonborn against Geralt of Rivia. How many sweet rolls can the Dragonborn eat in the middle of the battle? Optimus Prime vs Thomas the Tank Engine. I can feel the music in my head. Eeyore vs. Melman. Melman, are you ready to fight Eeyore? Melman, man, I can't do this, I forfeit. Black Panther vs Pink Panther. Sorry, but the Pink Panther can probably destroy every other fictional character because he owns a vacuum that can aspirate the totality of the physical reality. Except if you're a fly. Thor vs Superman. Odin in his prime vs Superman is more even. Mera vs. Jack Sparrow. Korra from ATLOK vs Vim from Mistborn. Solid Snake vs Agent 47. Drop them at opposite ends of a city and see how it goes from there. Jesus Christ vs the Antichrist. A bookie put odds on the Jesus. Nobody ducks with a Jesus. I was going to say Joe Exotic vs Carol Baskin, but then I remembered that somehow they're both actually real people. Was thinking about this last night. Prime All Might vs every villain seen so far in My Hero Academia. I wanna see how easily he'd beat down someone like Muscular or High End compared to how Midoriya and Endeavor did. As for the High End Nomu, I doubt it was anywhere near the level of Prime All Might in terms of speed and power. The Nomu at UA was moving faster than normal people could see, and All Might was reacting just as quick. Endeavor just has normal speed as he has no quirks that grant him any extra speed. So high-end Nomu shouldn't be a problem for All Might. If he wants to, he can just punch its head off and throw it into space before it can even know what's going on. Michael Myers, Halloween, vs the Mike Myers team, Skrek, Austin Powers, Drive, Evil, Fat Dastard, Goldmember Wayne Campbell. What? No Cat in the Hat or the record company guy from Bohemian Rhapsody? Goku vs Australia. Silly Gohan, animals don't eat people, people eat animals. Silly Gohan. Arya Stark vs Daredevil, Hawkeye vs Green Arrow. Oh, that first one's really clever. Harry Potter and Shrek. Harry Potter and the Swamp of Jet Out. Geralt of Rivia vs the Master Chief. Master Chief, just ducking shoots Geralt a ton. Count Dooku vs General Grievous. I've wondered about this, but I concluded that Grievous' inability to use the Force would limit him too much. John Wick vs Liam Neeson in Taken. Surprised no one mentioned Prince Charming from Shrek vs Jaime Lannister. Homer Simpson vs Peter Griffin. That would be hilarious. They did this in a crossover episode. Eggy vs 007. Eggsy. Batman vs Deadpool. Deadpool would just fanboy the entire time, then depending on the Deadpool, would either try and duck him, kill him, or ask to be the new Robin. Avatar Aang vs Korra. Avatar State Aang ain't no one to duck with. Clifford the Big Red Dog vs Ent. I imagine Clifford going to bite the Ent thinking it's just a big stick and the Ent slaps him in the snout and makes Clifford sad and now I'm sad. Xena vs Wonder Woman, but with no powers. I just want to see who the best fighter is. Callisto, depowered as well, vs Xena's daughter Eve. I just realized she would be fighting herself, lol. Thanos with Infinity Gauntlet vs Darkseid. Tony Stark vs Superman. Iron Man v Batman. Two humans with no superpowers, just using science and technology to beat the other. Mace Windu v Minerva McGonagall. If the Force is able to block spells, the win would go to Windu. If not, Minerva is gonna transform him into a mouse and eat him in her cat form. Giano Giovanna vs Thanos. Golden Experience Requiem or regular. Ben 10's Big Chill vs Elsa. I would love to see this bad Blue Devil Mothman overpower Elsa with his own nice powers. Giano vs Dio. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's ducking awesome, dude. Thanks for watching.